We are going to talk about gate 51, which is the arousing and the gate of shock, which is part of individual centering circuitry and connects to identity, gate 25.
Mm. So I have gate 25. Moni, you have this whole channel.
I got the whole thing.
I love gate 51s. They always make me do crazy things.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, 51 sees its share of blood. 51 starts the heartbeat of the blood in the body. 51 gives the power that then arouses the innocence, which is 25, the innocence of all things. If you have gate 25 in your body graph, it doesn't matter what the line is, you're innocent. And it doesn't mean you're innocent of the crime if you went and committed a crime. It just means you have the extraordinary potential to literally act innocently. 51 knows that. That's where its leap goes to. Because if the individual pulse to want to leap into the void, to want to do something, to have a thing that doesn't want the excitement to go away yet, or was looking for a new thing that feels like it might light it up in an exciting, ego fiery kind of way, it's looking for all of that stuff in an individual capacity, which happens in a pulse. And by very definition, the pulse itself is innocent. So 51 has this weird place. It is in the ego. It is not the tribe. It is part of a tribe almost always because everyone is one way, shape, or form, but its leap is into innocence. And because the will wants to leap and arouse the stagnant and churn up the things, it's like, guys, let's get this party going. Something's going to happen here, And Evil Knievel is a 51. I don't know if he's actually 51, but I mean, he jumped over the Snake Canyon
The
in a freaking
energy of,
homemade rocket ship. It's like, dude, I saw it live. The parachute had to go, or he would have killed himself. He finally had a brain and took a parachute, unlike all his other jumps, but he couldn't help it. And I was going to presume he had a gate 51 or was married to one or something of that nature. And it just, or the channel, and it wants to basically tell the tribe, hey, I found something new. Why don't you check it out this way? It's where the individual and the tribe meet up. And we need to meet up. The tribe doesn't meet the collective anywhere. And it meets the sacral through the tribal circuitry, but ego doesn't meet it directly. Ego meets the individual directly here and here alone, actually. Um, so I think that this gate literally wants to burn on fire with certain things or avoid the fire of certain things, especially as you get closer to that 6 line where it's like, I'll just go my own way. But I think the first line of 51 is reference, isn't it? It's reference. Um,
51 is reference, yes.
so it's the reference of past experience brought through to the fire of right now. That will I leap forward? Well, Custer leapt forward and he got his head cut off. Maybe I won't leap on this one. Reference, because you will leap into certain things. Keep taking that word leap and recognize 51 is meant to see its share of blood from its own skinned knees, blood from the whatever you did. You cut yourself, you got some tracks on your head because you fall and stuff, whatever. You take chances. You ride that bike over a jump. You want to climb the tree. You can't help it. There's a fiery excitement, and it's humanity's capacity to do what all spiritual things require to step into the unknown. You can take the word leap out. You can stroll into the unknown. You don't have to leap, but at the end of the day, it looks like a leap because everyone's like, what the heck are you doing? So the tribe has to allow this. Think about that. Tribe has to allow it. They can't simply shun the 51. The
Mm-hmm.
tribe will fail if it attempts to shun the 51 because the ego is the tribe. Everything connected to it as well, but
Mm-hmm. And it needs the 51.
needs it. Absolutely needs to do what the tribe may seem like it's all business, but the tribe has a deep connected history into its past and into its potential spiritual and mystical way. The tribe's always beating a drum for something, having a type of thing that it does over and over again, a custom, a ritual, big on rituals. You know what I mean? Tribe demand blood and sacrifices of some sort. It demands the right religion. These things are here, but 51 still has the capacity to change all of that. And the tribe and all the tribal definition and all the circuitry of the tribe, all of it must give way to 51 sometimes. So if you got a 51 in your body graph and you're in your tribe, sooner or later, if you spend your whole life there, you will not spend a whole lifetime. That 51 did not challenge the values of the tribe, one way, shape, or form. No, I'm a little bit gay. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit gay. That 51 could tell the tribal leader that at some point in time, 51 can come out of the closet. In other words, so to speak, and that's a big deal, right? I'm just trying to think of something that might be weird in the tribe, and 51 finally says, "Well, what are you gonna do? Kick me out?" You know? And the tribe is like, "No, we must take in new blood into our tribe. We must. We can't just stay this way. We will stagnate." And they know they'll stagnate if they don't take in new blood. And 51 is the source of that new blood. And it's no coincidence that is the arousing of the stagnant. So,
to follow up on your hypotheses about Evel Knievel, the stuntman, he totally has gate 51 on an undefined will. He's got 51.3, which is adaptation, the power of spontaneity in times of change. So, shock and crazy things, but oh no, it's time to pull the parachute.
Yep. I'm up in the air going over Caesar's palace right now, and I will adapt on the way down, apparently. That is a good one. I love line 351, that adaptation.
Also completely unrelated to our conversation, but he has a completely open route, which is kind of funny for impulsiveness.
Yeah, that is funny.
That is funny. But yeah, so gate 51, it's the only individual circuitry of the will center, which is interesting. I mean, we've already been kind of talking about that as the will center is extremely tribal with the other three gates, but 51 is going to bring something new. It's going to shock. It's going to jump into the unknown. It's going to find some new resources in gate 25, some new objects that can help the tribe. And if the tribe accepts them, then cool. Like these are worthwhile new things, but maybe sometimes they're not, so.
And that becomes a delicate dance in the tribe, doesn't it? 21's like, what is this BS? 26 is like, oh, 21's going to have something to say to you. 40's still like, dude, I'm busy working, waiting for my point of liberation. Maybe not, 40 will say, is there affection on the other side of that? But 51 may not get its way 4 times, and then the 5th time it does. Somehow, way, shape, or form, may say, I don't care if I get my way, I'm going my own way. I struck out on my own, because innocence can do that. The rock need not toil. It strikes out on its own by definition, by just sitting there as a rock. And even a rock has a gate 25 in it. 51 seeks the glory of God in gate 25, and it will leap anywhere to go find it. It's incredibly brave. It's the archetype of bravery, being afraid and doing it anyway. 21's like, dude, I am afraid, and I'll only do it if I absolutely have to. 50 will say, no, I'm just doing it just for the spiritual nature of this. I must. Dude, that's crazy. Don't do it. I must. 20, and the rest of the gates will be a little more practical about all of that. Not 51 need not consider its practicality. It need consider its landing pad. And need not even consider that at first. It will consider it on the way down, like gate 3, like line 3 demands in Evel Knievel. That's so funny.
Yeah, I thought you'd appreciate that. Yeah, 51 is always shocked out of the tribe, I find. I have the 51-6, and I find it's like, I got a place in the tribe, but kind of not, and I'll always get shocked out of the tribe, and then I'll find my way back into the tribe, but always kind of shock out of it and find some new things. And like you said, maybe 9 times out of 10, they don't like my findings, but that 1 in 10, it's something good.
It's something good, and you wait around. You'll support your tribe for the sake of that 1 in 10 until it gets to be too much. There is a point in time when it's not fair anymore, I'm sure, but a well-embedded 51 isn't eager to just leave the tribe.
No, we just leave for a little bit, and then we kind of come back.
For a bit, and
see what we find.
They're also not eager to shut up about it necessarily. I did this thing. Because it's part of your identity. It goes straight to the identity and the love of all things, into the vessel of love. You and I know intimately. We both have it. 51 shocks alive the life. It starts the beat of the heart And it literally, going into 25, it's like the spiritual innocence that says, I must survive.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine that. We have a genetic proclivity to leap into the thing that is the unknown. It could be the abyss. It could be the jaws of 10 alligators. We don't know,
Might be
per
a feather
se.
bed.
And it could be a feather bed, and it could be the love of your life. And it certainly is at the love of all things. The leap is at the love, of universal love of every last speck that we're connected to, anyways. That all things are interrelated is inherent and seen as the active approach to a leap. So,
Mm-hmm. Also interesting is that individual willpower is guided and necessitates innocence.
that's so cool, isn't it?
Right? Like the only individual willpower that we have, the other three gates are tribal. The only individual willpower within our programming and our design is predicated upon innocence of the 25.
I love that. That is an incredible spiritual message. That is a deeply profound message. It's not a measurable message, and you can't take it to the bank,
Mm-hmm.
right? Yet we do it.
Mm-hmm. And
I
that
find
20,
that I find that incredible. The beating
absolutely.
51 is the beating heart of the ego, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
What were you gonna say, Mom?
Oh yeah, just like 25, it's uncontrived. It's that innocent. So it's not like individual will. It's not this for the greater good of me, even though it seems that way because it's individual willpower. So it is the individual going their own way, but it's predicated from this place of innocence as its foundation. And I find that very interesting.
Mm.
It's almost like a check and balance kind of thing.
The innocence of the universal love of all things seems like an ordained message by God Himself. It really does. So God sanctions this leap. You can look at it that way. And it is very, very mystical because we can't know what's on the other side. There's no practical reason you can put onto the leap in the first moment of it, per se. Sometimes you can, but per se you can't.
Yeah, no, just going. Like, I mean, my will is unconscious, so it's always a surprise to me. Like, oh, okay, I guess I have energy to go in this crazy new direction and do this wild new thing. But it
Right,
just, the body is just moving. It's not an awareness center. It's not the spleen. It's not the solar plexus or the ajna. It's very unaware will.
right.
It's just like, I'm going in this new directions. I'm going to machete through this jungle and see where I end up.
Both of them are unaware. The whole process is just innate. It's baked in. It need not be thought, mind, emotional and waved, solar or splenic hit. It need not has none of that awareness in it. So our divinest way, sanctioned deepest by God Himself, is not about our human awareness. The human awareness is there to make sense of all of that later and along the way. Spleen will still do what it takes to keep you safe. So don't leap now. Wait 2 seconds. Okay, now leap. That's good spleen business there,
The
right?
51
Right.
is like,
Hold on,
oh,
no, no,
here we
one
go.
more second. Okay, now leap.
Uh-huh.
But 51 still says, well, dude, you got 10 seconds. I'm leaping, and it's gonna go. And
Mm-hmm.
25 is the innocence to catch it. I picked up 51 in my Chiron return going on, it's getting on to 10 years ago now. And I feel that energy show up. It's not part of my natal chart. It's not actually one of the codons I possess per se, but it's an essence that shows up in your Chiron return after about age 50. And even when I was just a 25, with just a 25 as a vessel in a defined G center, I loved the excitement. I loved it when it came along. My innocence made no judgment. Yay, we're running here. We're going fast. Da, 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 da. And my mother would scream, Daniel, where'd you supposed to tell me I need to know where you were? But whatever the thing was, innocence took me away, Ma. I didn't have the language to tell her.
Yeah.
I probably lied, so I wouldn't get in
To be
trouble.
real.
Yeah, miserable little kid in that way. But I wasn't. I was just innocent. The innocence I was swept away, all gentle like on a breeze, like Forrest says when they show the little feather floating along. That's 25 and 51, technically.
So 51, the arousing, the shock, the individual lightning bolt that finds its way into.
I like a lightning bolt, thunder over thunder. I actually expanded that. At one time, I remember hearing Ross say lightning and thunder over and under.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the lightning isn't part of the I Ching way, but I mean, it is a lightning strike, this 51.
Yeah, it's that kind of out of nowhere shock that you just have the grace to survive. Now,